Thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host. Local bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona, and hopefully today with our bets and your bets, it's going to be another fabulous day for you. Saturday, January 31st, the best day of college basketball during the week is definitely on Saturday. And we've got a lot of great games to get in today. Plus, we're going to get into the NBA as well. If this is your first time joining us here, welcome aboard. If you've been here many times before, welcome back. Appreciate seeing everybody here on this basketball show, as we've got a ton of bets we're going to go through. All of our episodes here on YouTube brought to you by the world's #1 sports betting app, Outlier. You can get a 7-day free trial in that comment section and join our private Discord channel where you get all of our bets early. You get our unit sizes as well that we don't go through on the show. You also get bonus material as well. We're going to have some golf later on this weekend as well. UFC's coming up tomorrow. So stuff that the Discord will just get that we don't put out for the public, plus WNBA. Formula One's a big one for us as well when that season comes back around again. A lot of bets, a lot of action, 365 days out of the year. There should be something there for you for sure. Join that Discord channel. Like I said, comments, it's a link in the comment section there. All right, let's get started. Noon Eastern time frame. ESPN, we're going to get started with Duke, number 4 team in the country, on the road at VTech. They're laying 11.5 here. I know Duke is 5-1 against the number here as of late, but majority of those games have been at home. And VTech's played some decent basketball as well. Total 148.5 here. I think Duke wins. I just don't know if they cover the 11.5 here. I expect them to have to work for this win against Virginia Tech here. But VTech plus 6 in the first half, 11.5 for the game. Next game up, noon Eastern on Fox. Cincinnati and Houston. Houston coming at home, 14.5-point favorites. They have really put up some points as of late as well. Normally we think of Houston probably as a lot of unders. Lately, they've allowed some teams to score a few points, but they have just been putting up so many points. The total in this one has moved from 133.5 to 135.5 already. Houston Bay favored by 14.5. We love the over. We got it at 133.5 when it opened. You can 135.5. We still like it. We think this game's played into the 140s. Houston and Cincy over 68.5 first half, over 133.5 for the game. Next game up, noon Eastern time frame, ESPN2. Texas Tech, UCF in Orlando. So as of late, Texas Tech's been playing a lot better basketball. Obviously, they had that big win over Houston as well. And they've been covering. Earlier in the season, they couldn't cover anything. But as of late, playing really good basketball. UCF, on the other hand, the last few have lost it, have done, how do I put this? Worse than expected, I guess would be the easiest way to put that there. Noon Eastern time frame game on this one in Orlando. Texas Tech, this line's already moved from 4.5 to 5.5. We got it at, I like the 4.5. I think 5 has an outside chance to be a push, but you should be okay at 5.5 as well. Texas Tech minus 2.5 first half and 4.5 for the game. Next game up, noon Eastern time frame, ACC Network. Clemson at home against Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh, folks, is just god-awful. Let's just be honest. Clemson, one of the better teams in the ACC. Sometimes they can start off a little slow. Total in this game is only 135.5, so don't expect a boatload of scoring, especially from the Pittsburgh side, I think. Clemson 17-4, 7-1 in the ACC. Pittsburgh 9-12, 2-6 in the ACC. We think Clemson got a good chance to win this one by 20. Minus 6 in the first half, minus 11.5 for the game. Next game up that we're on is going to be, as soon as we can find it here, as we roll through these games. Noon Eastern time frame as well. NC State on at Wake Forest on ACC Extra here. NC State, this line has moved as well. As a lot of these lines have moved from where they opened. They're a 5.5-point favorite. They opened at 4.5. The Sharps feeling the same way I do in this one. Is Wake Forest has been really bad. They're barely above 500. Even though this game played in Winston-Salem, we do like NC State. They got a good chance to win this one by 10 or more. So at 4.5 was a no-brainer. 2.5 first half and 4.5 for the game. Next game up, Valparaiso, Indiana State. In Terre Haute, Indiana, at the Holman Center. Indiana State at home. They're favored by 2.5. Now, Indiana State is a dog. A lot of times we're interested in taking them as they seem to keep the games a little closer than what the book expects. But when they are a favorite, that's where they seem to struggle. They're 2-9 in the Missouri Valley. Valparaiso, even though being 10-11, still is 4-6 in the Missouri Valley Conference. We'll take the points here with Valparaiso plus 1.5 first half, plus 2.5 for the game. Next game we are on, San Diego State and Utah State. Who the hell put this game on at 1 o'clock Eastern time? It's a little early on CBS. San Diego State, number one team in the Mountain West right now, so top two dogs out in the Mountain West. San Diego State 15-5, 9-1 in the Mountain West. Utah State 17-3, 8-2 in the Mountain West. Against the better competition is where Utah State has struggled, and San Diego State's the best competition in this league. They're favored by 5.5. That's way too much in this one. San Diego State plus 3 in the first half, plus 5.5 for the game. Next game we're on, LSU at South Carolina. I know South Carolina's bad. They're 11-10, 2-6 in the ACC or SEC. But how the hell is LSU favored by 2.5 in this game on the road? Somebody explain. That's one of those mind twisters on the line. You sit there and try to analyze it 3 different ways. SEC Network Plus. I don't know how we don't take the Gamecocks and the points being at home. That's the way we went. Plus 1.5 first half, 2.5 for the game. Next game up, 1 o'clock Eastern time frame as well. Texas A&M and Georgia, the number one team in the SEC right now is Texas A&M, believe it or not. Georgia is 16-5, 4-4 in the SEC, had a couple late losses lately. This line was 4.5, now down to 3.5. And to be really honest, Texas A&M should be the favorite here, or it should be a pick 'em. We like A&M plus the points, plus 2.5 first half, plus 4.5 for the game. Next game up, Virginia, Boston College at 1:30 Eastern time frame on the C-Dub and at Boston College. Virginia, 12.5 point favorite. They should be. They've been played really well. Boston College is one of the bottom feeders. 17-3, 6-2 in the ACC. Boston College, 9-11, 2-5 in the ACC here. Virginia can score the ball, unlike most years in the last, that seems 10-plus years. They can definitely move. The total at 139 is where we have to attack here. To be really honest, Boston College is going to need to score probably 60. If they do, I think Virginia should be able to score 80 on them, cover this number. That's kind of what we're thinking, anticipating here. Virginia, Boston College, over 70.5 first half, 139.5 for the game. Next game we're on, 2 o'clock Eastern time frame, TNT in Tempe, Arizona at the Desert Financial Arena. Arizona State, 11-10, 2-6 in the Big 12, hosting the number one team in the country. 21-0, 8-0 in the Big 12. Arizona coming off a big win against BYU lately. Arizona State can't beat anybody. They did keep the game somewhat close at UCF the last time out, but they are not good. Arizona, to be really honest, I know it's a rivalry game, so there may be a little back and forth early, and always something weird seems to happen in some of these rivalry games, but Arizona is by far like a 20-plus point better team than Arizona State. So we'll lay 7.5 first half, 14.5 for the game. Next game up, North Carolina on the road. Always makes me a little nervous so far this season, but they have played better as of late on the road. 16-4 overall, 4-3 on the road. I'm sorry, 4-3 in the ACC. Georgia Tech, 11-10, 2-6 in the ACC. Tar Heels are 10.5 point favorites, 158.5 total. And the Tar Heels should be able to figure this thing out. Minus 5.5 first half and 10.5 for the game. Next game up, 2 o'clock Eastern time frame on ESPN. Louisville, who I'm not as big on as some other teams are, 14-6 overall. They're 4-4 in the ACC. Now, I understand they've lost. This game played in Louisville, by the way. They've lost to some superior teams. You know, they're not at Duke's level, you know, stuff like that. But SMU is not a bad ball club. And to get 9.5 points here, I think is kind of a steal here for SMU. I don't know if SMU is going to, like, if you put this team on a neutral floor, I mean, I don't know if SMU is going to win this, but 9.5 seems like we could get this game down to 5, I would think, or right around there. SMU plus 5 in the first half, plus 9.5 for the game. Next game up, Texas and Oklahoma is where we're going to next. This game played in Norman, Oklahoma at 2 o'clock Eastern time frame, ESPN2. Somehow OU, who is 1-7 in the SEC, 11-10 overall, is a 1.5 point favorite. explain that one to me. I know they're at home, and Texas is not definitely as badass as they've been in the years past, but Oklahoma is just piss poor. Oklahoma might be able to keep this thing relatively close for the first half. We expect Texas to pull away, though. Texas money line first half, Texas money line for the game. Next game we're on, Miami of Ohio. Let's see here. As soon as we find it, 3:30 Eastern time frame, ESPN Plus. They're 9-0, 21-0 overall. One of the few unbeatens left. They're favored by 17.5 here, 156.5. Northern Illinois, disappointing season for them so far. It's 7-13, 3-6 in the MAC. It would be a miracle win for Northern Illinois to kind of get this win. I don't think that's where you want to attack this game anyway. 17.5's a bunch for a conference game. But that 156.5 with that Miami of Ohio offense is where we're going, and we're going over again. Over 80.5 first half and 156.5 for the game. Next game that we're on is going to be Northern Iowa and Evansville, 4 o'clock Eastern time frame on ESPN Plus. And it does not – I've said this in a couple different shows. Like this season, if you don't know much about college basketball, what you do is you go find the Northern Iowa game every time they're playing and just play the under. You're going to have a successful season. You're going to make some money because they go under. It doesn't matter if they set the total at 120s, 140s, 130s. But Evansville doesn't like to score either. They're 5-16, 1-9 in the Missouri Valley. Northern Iowa at home, they're 5-6 in the Missouri Valley, 13-9. The pace of play will be excruciating slow, but we love the under here again, 128.5. That's where we're headed. Under 67.5 first half, 128.5 for the game. Next game up, Baylor and West Virginia. I think West Virginia is getting slided here a little bit here on the line. 4 o'clock Eastern time frame in Morgantown. West Virginia 14-7, 5-3 in the Big 12. Not a bad record, but Baylor's basically at the bottom of the Big 12, 1-7 so far in Big 12 play. 11-9 overall. West Virginia only favored by 2.5 at home. This is a team that's beat Kansas at home. They beat others at home as well. We like this game quite a bit. West Virginia minus 1.5 first half, 2.5 for the game. Next game we're on is going to be Little Rock. As soon as we can find it here, Tennessee Tech. Little Rock favored by 1.5, 9-12 on the road, but in conference play, 6-4. Tennessee Tech, 7-14 overall, 2-8 in conference play. Little Rock just a slight favorite. We'll take that out of this one in here. We like us a little Little Rock money line first half and Little Rock money line for the game. Next game we're on at 4:30 Eastern time frame on ESPN. This should be a barn burner here. Kansas at home, hosting BYU, 17-3 BYU, 5-2 in the Big 12. Kansas 15-5 overall, 5-2 in the Big 12 as well. Kansas favored by 4.5, 159.5 total. And I don't think it's enough, to be really honest. This line has went up a couple points. It did open up 157.5 when we grabbed it earlier. But 159.5 to where she sits. I'd still play at 160 plus. I think this game has an opportunity to get to the 170s. BYU Kansas over 80.5 first half, 157.5 for the game. Next game up, App State Troy. If you've seen Troy play lately, like we have, it was disappointing for Troy so far this week. 4:30 Eastern time frame, ESPN Plus. Troy once again at home. They're 15-7, 8-2 in the Sun Belt. App State is pretty damn solid in the Sun Belt. They're 7-4 and getting a little disrespected on the line here. Troy at 7.5. I mean, Troy just lost to James Madison where they were 8.5 point favorite, and James Madison's nowhere near the Troy team is. Expect App State to keep this thing close, if not win this game outright. +4 in the first half, +7.5 for the game. Next game up, we got a little UCLA and Indiana on Peacock, 5 o'clock Eastern time frame. At Pauley Pavilion in LA. Indiana 14-7, 5-5 overall in the Big Ten. UCLA 15-6 overall, 7-3 in the Big Ten. The big difference here is Indiana only tends to beat on the bottom feeders. When it comes to teams that are better than them, they do not seem to compete at all. UCLA, we love in this matchup. -2 in the first half, -3.5 for the game. Next game up, Vanderbilt, Ole Miss. Okay, if this was a football game, oh man, this year was awesome. 6 o'clock Eastern time frame on the SEC network in Nashville. Vandy laying 11.5 here on Ole Miss. Ole Miss 3-4 in the SEC, 11-9 overall. Vandy only 3 losses coming in the SEC as they're 18-3, 5-3 in the SEC. Vandy should roll in this one. Got a good chance to win by 20, I would think. Vandy -6 first half, -11.5 for the game. Next game up, Bradley and Drake at 6 o'clock Eastern time frame, CBS Sports Network. Bradley 14-8, 7-4 in the Missouri Valley. Drake 12-10. And just extremely inconsistent, 6-5 in the Missouri Valley here. Drake somehow still favored by 1.5. We like the dog to win outright, so let's just play a little Bradley money line first half. Bradley money line for the game. Next game up, a little Calipari action coming up in this next one between Arkansas and Kentucky. So the two former team and current team for Calipari at 6:30 Eastern time frame. Bud Walton Arena in Fayetteville, Arkansas at home, 6.5-point favorite, 161.5 total. I expect this line to go up before game time, so recommend getting it in while you can. There should be a lot of scoring. Excellent thing for this play to be played in the 170s, maybe even to 180 in this one. Arkansas, Kentucky over 83.5 first half and 161.5 for the game. Next game up, 6:30 Eastern time frame as well. USA Network. George Mason, 19-2 overall, traveling to the Bonnies. St. Bonaventure, they're 7-1 in the Atlantic 10. I know they haven't had great success at St. Bonaventure, but are we serious here that St. Bonaventure is a favorite? Once again, taking the dog to win this game outright. George Mason, money line first half. George Mason, money line for the game. Next game up, UConn is the next one we're on here. They are going to Creighton, not an easy place to play in the Big East. They haven't lost in the Big East yet. If they're going to lose in the Big East, this is probably one of the spots where it could happen. They are a 6.5-point favorite here. Now up to 7.5. Creighton at home is a little bit different animal. That raucous crowd gets going there in Omaha. It's going to be a tough one for UConn, I think. I think they can win by 10, but things are going to have to go well for them, and definitely don't want to get down early and get that Creighton crowd going crazy. But UConn -3.5 first half, -6.5 for the game. Next game up, Belmont and Murray State. This one should be pretty interesting. Both teams top part of the Missouri Valley here, 16-6 overall. Murray State 8-3 in the Missouri Valley. Belmont 19-3, 9-2 in the Missouri Valley. Belmont favored by 4.5. They should be. It's a home game for two teams that are somewhat equal. I think 5 points makes the difference here. So Belmont -2.5 first half. -4.5 for the game. Next game up, two teams you don't want to watch in Big Ten basketball. 8 o'clock Eastern time frame in Evanston, Illinois. Northwestern's at home. They've got 2 whopping wins in the Big Ten. Washington's got 3. Northwestern's actually 1.5-point favorite because they're at home. And take the 1.5 out of play. We'll just play a little Northwestern in this one. Money line first half. Money line for the game. Next game up. All right, so Tennessee and Auburn, 8:30 Eastern time frame. Tennessee laying 5.5 at home against Auburn. So this line to me is a little off, and I think the book's trying to beg for Auburn money here on this one here, but because it should be 4.5, but for some reason we're at 5.5. Seems like they really want that Auburn trend to come in. 4-3 in the SEC. Tennessee 5-3. Auburn. Auburn's played better as of late. Tennessee's played all right as well. They won, had a couple upsets as well. So, but we do like Tennessee. We'll cover the number here. Tennessee -3 in the first half, 5.5 for the game. We'll finish up college basketball with the late game of the night. Gonzaga, St. Mary's in Spokane. Gonzaga's at home, 21-1, 9-0 in the West Coast Conference. St. Mary's 19-3, 8-1 in the West Coast Conference. Gonzaga's only loss, one of the top teams in the country, Michigan, where they got their doors blown off, but it was early in the season. This game on ESPN as well. I think Zaga, they split, if it was at St. Mary's, this line would be lucky to be like 3.5 or 4.5, but 9.5 seems to be the right number here. I think the Zags figure out a way to win this thing by 15 here against St. Mary's. All right, now we're going to flip over to the NBA, as we've got 6 games here for you on Saturday the 31st in the NBA, including an early game, noon Eastern time frame. Prime Video going to get a Saturday game, Saturday early. Spurs, Hornets. as we get started. Spurs 32-15, second in the West, 15-9 on the road. Hornets 21-28, 9-13 at home. Hornets have played well as of late. Let's just be honest. They've had a couple doo-doo games, but overall, Hornets have won 5 straight. They won at Dallas. They won at Memphis. They beat the 76ers. They beat the Wizards and Orlando. While the Spurs, on the other hand, big win against the Rockets, winning by 12 in Houston. That game against New Orleans is still sticking in my craw a little bit. They won at Utah a couple times as well. I just don't know if the Hornets, defensively, when Wemby plays, the Spurs are one of the best defensive units out there. And typically against top 5 defenses, this Hornets offense isn't as spectacular as it was. Line opened at 3.5. It's 4.5. It's went down a point as well, 226 to 225. We like the Spurs in this particular spot. Let's give you all the bets here as we got a bunch of them. Spurs minus 1.5 first quarter, 2.5 first half, 4.5 for the game. Devin Vassell for the Spurs, under 14.5 points and rebounds. Victor Wembanyama, under 39.5 par, points, assists, rebounds. Kalkbrenner for the Hornets, 5+ points. Kalkbrenner, 3+ field goals. Diabate under 17.5 par. Big reason is we think his rebounding numbers are going to go under. Brandon Miller under 24.5 points. 24+ points and assists. Dylan Harper, 1+ turnover. Steven Castle coming back. We hit him on 4+ rebounds in the last game. We think 5 is a great possibility here. For you first quarter bettors, here's a few of them, or a couple of them for you. Knuppel, 5+ points in the first quarter. De'Aaron Fox, 2+ assists in the first quarter. And we'll finish up with Champagnie, 4+ field goals in that Spurs and Hornets game. Next game up, we get to, I think we jumped from the noon to 7 o'clock, right? Nothing in between. Hawks, Pacers, 7 o'clock Eastern time at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indy. Pacers at home. And for some reason, I guess the Hawks have been better on the road, so I understand that. Jalen Johnson, game time decision. Ristisher, game time decision. Okongwu, Porzingis, both out. And same 2 guys out, Obi Toppin and Halliburton. They've been out for the entire season for the Pacers. Now, coming into this game here, Pacers have won 2 out of their last 3. They beat OKC. They lost to Atlanta at home, sorry. And that was just, 5 days ago? And they did beat Chicago. Now, the Hawks won 4 straight till they lost at home against Houston, where they put up a whopping 86 points against the Rockets. 86 points. This is a team that, has 250 games all the time, and they put up 86 points. The reason we love and hate the NBA, right? This one here, Pacers for us in this one. I know they just lost to them. Maybe they got second chance in 5 days. Get Pacers money line here. You get a little plus money. Plus money line first quarter, money line first half, money line for the game. Aaron Nesmith, 16+ points and assists. Luke Kennard for first quarter bettors again, 2+ points in the first quarter. Jarris Walker, 2+ rebounds in the first quarter. CJ McCollum, 5+ points in the first quarter. I think that's all the first quarter plays there. All right, we'll get to the rest of them now. We've got Walker Alexander for the Hawks under 7.5 field goals. Nembhard, 25+ points and assists. Nembhard, 3+ turnovers. Nembhard, 2+ threes. Siakam will also play for 2+ threes. CJ McCollum, 26+ par, points, assists, rebounds combined. Jarris Walker, 2+ threes. At home, he hits this. On the road, never seems to. Siakam, 4+ assists. And why not a little TJ McConnell for 5+ assists as well. Next game up, Pelicans, 76ers. Pelicans coming off the back-to-back. Nice win at home over the Grizzlies. Now they go on the road to Philly. And for the first time this season, there is no game time decision or out for Joel Embiid. Congratulations. By the way, I want to mention this really quick. Sabonis yesterday, not on the injury report at all. Didn't play for the Kings. A lot of plays on him. I don't care if guys sit out. Can we just please mention this in the injury report that it could be possible rest or put him as a game time decision? Nobody likes voided bets, especially me, but it also affects the line tremendously, right? So when these guys, especially when stars are missing and all of a sudden no notice whatsoever. The NBA needs to realize how much money they are making from sports books and crack down on this a little bit for average Joe. I know they don't care about the fans. None of them do. None of the sports give a shit about the fans. But the NBA is the worst one by far. It is god awful on what they do. Now, I understand college basketball and college football. They don't release a lot of injuries. Okay, I still think that's bullshit. I'll be honest. But the NBA, come on. As much money is being wagered on the NBA. I mean, baseball gets out the injury and rest portion well before the NBA does. It's absolutely insanity, sick, and ugly to play with. For guys that play a lot of player props, extremely frustrating. Anyway, Pelicans still missing DeJounte Murray. He's been out the entire season. Quentin Grimes and Beauchamp are game time decisions. Like I said, Embiid's going to play, and there was actually props the night before. We're about to have a heart attack here on the show. Anyway, really simply put, 76ers have won 2 in a row. And let's see. Pelicans won 3 out of their last 5, including the win last night. Extra day rest here for the 76ers. I think the line's too stout, though, to be really honest. 9.5 is too big. Now, we could be totally wrong here, and Philly wins by 10, but they have not been blowing people out. So give us the Pelicans plus 2.5 first quarter, 5 first half, 9.5 for the game. Oubre under 4.5 rebounds. VJ Edgecombe under 18.5 points and assists. Jeremiah Fears 6+ rebounds and assists, and Joel Embiid, haven't had a chance to play him all season, 5+ assists. Jones. That's Herbert Jones for the Pelicans, under 6.5 rebounds, assists. That one hit last night as well. Embiid, 13+ rebounds and assists. Embiid, 33+ points and assists. Embiid, 42+ par. And then we've got 1 first quarter play in this one as well. Embiid, 9+ points in the first quarter for all you first quarter players out there. Next game up. Bulls, Heat. We just seen this game. We're going to see it again, 8 o'clock Eastern time, except we're going to see it down in South Beach. They just come off of this game where the Heat won in Chicago, kind of the shocker there. They won by 3. They took control of that game and, got out of there with the victory. The Bulls have lost 3 straight, and, the Heat have won 3 out of 4. They lost to Orlando, but they won at Phoenix, where Phoenix can't seem to lose. And they did beat Utah by 30. Last couple games for the Bulls, lost by 3, and then lost by 11 to the Lakers. They did beat the Celtics and the T-Wolves before that. A lot of injuries, a lot of in and out of the lineup shit. Jalen Smith for the Bulls, game time decision. Miller, game time decision. Vucevic, game time decision. Trey Jones going to be out. Kobe White, calf, game time decision. For the Heat, Norman Powell out for personal reasons. Davion Mitchell, game time decision. And to be really honest, it sounds like he might be out. We're hoping so because we've got a lot on Larson who's going to take his spot. Tyler Hero's still out, and Terry Rozier, everybody's favorite player, is out as well. So this game here, like I said, we do like the Bulls. We'll take the 5.5 here. They just saw each other. I think that's going to be enough for the Bulls to play a little bit better. They're going to know what to expect from Miami. Plus 1.5 first quarter, 3 first half, 5.5 for the game. Larson, 21+ par. Bam Adebayo, 4+ assists. For you first quarter bettors, Buzelis for the Bulls, 1+ assist first quarter, and Bam Adebayo, 1+ assist first quarter for the Heat. Next game up, T-Wolves. And when we went through this, there was no player props yet because the Grizzlies just played. So T-Wolves and Grizzlies in Memphis. T-Wolves favored by 7.5 here. Minnesota kind of on the Grizzlies kind of on that downward spiral at the moment, where they just can't seem to – the injuries are starting to rack up a little bit, maybe costing them some. They've lost, 5+ consecutive games in a row, including by 8 to New Orleans. They lost by, 15 to Charlotte, 9 at Houston. They lost to the Pelicans by 6, Atlanta by a couple. They just can't seem to get it done. T-Wolves here, winners of their last 3, beating Golden State, Dallas, and OKC. That OKC win by 12 was pretty impressive. Terrence Shannon still out for the Grizzlies. Aldama, game time decision. Ty Jerome, game time decision. Scottie Pippen, game time decision. And Eddie and Ja Morant still out. And Eddie's had 2 injury-plagued seasons. Ja Morant, obviously, they're trying to trade, but who wants to pay that guy? Especially can't stay healthy as well. T-Wolves for us in this one, minus 2 first quarter, 3.5 first half, 6.5 for the game. Player props to come on the Discord channel if we find some that are going to be worth it. And we'll finish up the night 8:30 Eastern time frame on ABC in Houston at the Toyota Center. Rockets, who are deadly at home, 29-17, 16-4 at home. Mavericks, 19-29, 5-14 on the roads. Big reason why they're not a little bit up there. And, of course, all the injuries the Mavericks have dealt with, including Anthony Davis, Derek Lively, Kyle Irving, and Dante Exum. For the Rockets, they did move to Steven Adams to out for the season, as well as Van Vliet. So everybody else healthy here. Line opened up at 10.5, now at 11.5, 220. The total opened at 221, down to 220 on this one. We just like the Rockets here. Or, I'm sorry, the Mavs. It's not that I think the Rockets aren't going to win, but the Mavs just keep it somewhat close. The Rockets don't go out there and try to score 140 points, which is probably damn near what they need to cover some of these lines. They are really good at home. I expect them to win, just not win by 12 or more. Mavs by 3 first quarter, 6 first half, 11.5 for the game. Durant under 10.5 rebounds and assists. Durant 26+ points. Amen Thompson 8+ rebounds. Max Christie 3+ points first quarter for all you first quarter bettors. Amen Thompson 18+ points. Max Christie 13+ points. Daniel Gafford 6+ rebounds. Brandon Williams 21+ par, points, assists, rebounds combined. Also, Max Christie, 19+ par. Naj Marshall, 5+ rebounds. Eason for the Rockets, 14+ points and assists. Naj Marshall, we hope he's playing this time. We've already got snake bitten once this week when he wasn't on the injury report, and next thing you know, he doesn't play. 7+ field goals. Naj Marshall, this one's pretty sizable, plus money as well. 2+ rebounds in the first quarter. Senjun, 2+ assists in the first quarter. And Brandon Williams for the Mavs, 1+ rebound in the first quarter. For all you first quarter players, a lot of them in that one to finish off the night. All right, that's going to be a rundown of college basketball, NBA basketball for Saturday, January 31st. If you like the content you're seeing here, do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, share it with a friend, like the episode, leave a comment. That stuff all costs you absolutely $0, just maybe less than 20 seconds of your time. Would greatly appreciate any and all we can get there. Help spread the word of the show as well. So we appreciate if you guys could do that. All of our episodes on YouTube brought to you by Outlier, the world's #1 sports betting app. 7-day free trial in the comments section for you as well. And then also our Discord channel. We'll do all the research for you. Join a couple 100+ members that love doing the same thing you do, and that's called sports wagering. Get all of our bets early, get our unit sizes, get bonus bets that we don't put out for the public on the non-mainstream sports like golf, UFC, Formula One, WNBA, all that kind of stuff. Trust me, you're going to have 365 days of bets and too many of them. Plus multiple cappers dropping in, throwing down some stuff as well. Plus, ask some questions if you want to as well. So all you have to do is tag me in the Discord, and we'll try to answer everything we can for you as well. So we appreciate everybody's support as always, and we look forward to seeing you on our next episode.